Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Connected Conversations. So, I am Martina Mazdrova. I am your host, and I am standing as the source of a transformed world. I'm standing for love, for joy, and for connection. And that's why we've got Connected Conversations, and I'm bringing you incredible people to open new possibilities, new perspectives, new things inside of you so you can shift and move to the area of your life where you really desire to move to. And today I am super excited to welcome Brogan Metcalf, who is a transformational coach and much more. But I'm gonna let Brogan to introduce herself and tell us your story.
Yes.
How did you
Hi,
get
everyone.
in all of this?
Martina, thank you so much for having me. So my story is quite long, probably like most of you, but I really started my journey to where I am now in terms of coaching when I moved down to Virginia. So I'm from Jersey. I live in Virginia now, and I started working at a gym and really getting into fitness and all of that fun stuff. Then I got pregnant with my daughter Delilah, and that rocked my whole world. I was excited, but I was still a baby, I think. I was only 25, and I had her, and I got depression and anxiety and panic attacks, like just the most crazy experience, because before having her, I would never think that would happen. But it all happened for me. I had 2 miscarriages, and that really led me into the real deep inner work and the spiritual healing. And I had 2 of my babies at home with just my husband and I, like no medical professionals or anything like that. And it was really just like a lot of mindset. And I took a lot of courses during this time because, with small kids, it's like, for me, I just didn't feel like I was ready yet to bring my gifts to the world. So I got a shit ton of certifications between then and about, I don't know, a year and a half ago is when I really started investing in coaches for me and my business, and really going all out online to help women transform their bodies and their minds.
I love that. What a story, Brogan. I mean, we really the working title of our conversation is From Depressed to Unstoppable. So what really is coming right now is, as you said, you've had 2 miscarriages. So if there are women who have experienced this, and maybe there are in the fields right now on how to process it, how, what supported you to heal through that?
Really just giving myself a lot of love. I felt guilty. I felt like it was my fault. And maybe part of it was like, I feel like we're all sourcing, as you know, like we're all manifesting our reality. But I just beat myself up. And the biggest thing is I didn't allow myself to feel. I kept numbing it down. So the first miscarriage, a couple weeks later, we ended up going to Las Vegas because we already had a vacation planned. And it's like I kept just shoving it down, right? Like it's like, all right, I'll get over it. But I was numb. I was so like just walking around. I felt empty, because first of all, I didn't even want to get pregnant again, to be honest. Delilah was like 18 months at that time. And again, as I said, I was depressed. So like my mind, like I was so exhausted. I could barely think about doing dishes. Like honestly, the thought about getting in the car seat sometime, or getting in the car sometimes and buckling her in the car seat, felt like so much work, And she was a colicky baby. Like she cried a lot. She was very needy. And I know I created that too, because she was home with me all the time. But I didn't want, like, I wasn't excited about being pregnant, right? Until I saw the heartbeat, or no heartbeat, when I went to the hospital, and my heart just sunk into my stomach. And it was hands down the worst experience I've ever had, because if you know the miracle of life, it starts very small. And, knowing, seeing Delilah from where that baby could have been, all the way to where she was at that time, I was like, holy crap. Like I got to really be grateful, right? For what I had created and the miracle that being pregnant is, but really just allowing yourself to feel all the shit is like the number one thing, because, when we store it down, it just, either the lessons keep coming or we just don't heal. So a couple months later, I ended up getting pregnant again. And I was like, just very nervous, because I was like, okay, like what's happening? I just wasn't sure. And then I started to bleed. And then, long story short, I had an ectopic pregnancy, which is a pregnancy in the fallopian tube. So I had to go get surgery similar to like a C-section. They had to cut me open to check and all that. And I just remember going into the like the prep room for the surgery, just crying, talking to the guy with the anesthesia. I was hysterical because first of all, I was terrified that I wasn't going to wake up. And then I was terrified because I didn't know what they were going to say. I didn't know if they were going to say like the baby's fine or if it wasn't a topic.
That's good chills as you talk about it. So as you say, like you were numb or you numb yourself, what were, I think this is such a common thing we do, but I know I did it as well. I would use distraction. I would use time and busyness to get me going in the hamster wheels so that I didn't have a moment to reflect especially when there were difficult times. But I realized that just recently. So what did you see in yourself? What do you see maybe with your clients? What are the things? What are the ways we numb ourselves that maybe our listeners was like, no, this is not me. I'm so good with my feelings, but actually maybe we are on the superficial level, feeling but not really feeling it. So what were your ways to numb yourself, if I put it this way? What do you see with your clients?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, everything. I mean, I feel like no matter even how like conscious and awake you are, like you still kind of do it unconsciously, right? And it could be with food. It could be with sleep. I know sleep is a big one for me. Like naps growing up, like that was my way to numb. It was just a way to escape reality, right? Because I wasn't happy with the way reality was. And that was really similar to like with my depression and miscarriages. I was just not happy with what my reality was showing me day in and day out. And the thing was that I always felt stuck. So like, if you're listening, let me know if this is you, where you just feel stuck, like this part of you that just like, what the fuck? Like, what do I have to do? Like, whatever it is. But it's just this part of you that feels like amazing things can happen for other people and not for you, you know? So, but the numbing happens always. I mean, think about like our to-do list, right? Where we just, you know, don't even have a moment to connect with other people because we're too busy.
Go. Totally. That's huge. And I know like I used to, you know, I mean, I want to say like I used to drink. It's not like I was an alcoholic, but I did like to have a glass or two of wine, or something. It was a half bottle. But it was interesting to really reflect. It was last spring, when COVID started, basically. That's 2 years ago, right? It's this spring will be 2 years ago. I know I was like, we were finishing the bottles of wine, we were having here a glass, and then I realized it's like, why do I even have it? You know, it's like, okay, I like the taste, but it's not like I love it. I would rather have a chocolate maybe. But why was it? And it was, and at that moment I did realize that I was using it as a aid to relax, to unwind. Sometimes I so remember walking upstairs from work and just opening it, putting a glass of wine into a glass, still dressed. I would just sit down and I just have a sip. And I was like, okay, now I'm finally home. So, and that's not even, it was here and then, but I know it was consciously for that reason. So it was a time for me, like, you know what, I'm choosing not to drink unless I just want have the taste for it. Like you're excited to eat chocolate or this good food. You know what, today I really feel like having a glass of wine just for the sake, but not to solve anything. Like, okay, well, my body should have the ability to process, to unwind, or I should guide it. So that was such an interesting thing for me, that we just do different things. Or chocolate, sugar, right, is kind of getting the sweetness that we are missing, the love and this sweetness in our life. Then we would offer sugar addiction often comes from this.
Absolutely. And I want to go back to like the alcohol thing, because no matter what it is for you, like it's always something. Because I thought, like, I look back to my late teens, early 20s, and I drank a lot, like all the time. All I cared about was going to parties and drinking, and like that was fun. And I was like, oh, that's just normal, until like I did a lot of the deepening work, and I was like, no, like I just obviously was not satisfied sober, and I was like, no, like I just obviously was not satisfied, like, You know what I mean? So I was chasing a feeling. I was chasing something through drinking, you know, and that's also with anything in our life. I mean, let's get real. We're all buying a feeling, no matter what we're doing. If we're, you know, buying new shoes or whatever, like we're always chasing a feeling in life, but we have to, you know, get to a point, as you're saying, like it has to feel good. It's got to be from the right place of alignment, not just like you're unconscious. So you're aware, like, do I want this chocolate, and really feeling it in, or do I want this glass of wine? Because now it's like I barely drink. I don't even want to drink anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
same here.
Like very rarely. Sometimes I want like a pina colada or like a mojito because I love the taste.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I'll just get it virgin because I'm like, I don't need it, you know?
I don't even like it now. I don't even
so
the wines that I used to love, I don't like them anymore.
Yeah. But I think it's also like fitting in. Like by nature, we want to fit in as humans. Like think about now, no matter what your beliefs are with everything going on in the world, whether you are, you know, like just with COVID and stuff, like whatever you believe in, even if you're so strong in your beliefs, if everyone around you is doing the opposite thing, you're going to want to do that because it's just nature. It's our primal nature to want to fit in and be accepted.
Yeah, that is huge, because that was like a huge thing, because when I started this journey of like, I just don't drink now. And it was really good because I lived in England at the time. I was sharing house with the lovely girls. They didn't really drink much too, so it was really easy. But then I moved back home, and here in the Czech Republic, we do like to have a drink. It's normal for my family. Let's go for the wine. Let's go to this tapas bar. Let's have a beer with this traditional meal. And then suddenly, you know, a group of people would go, "Ah, it's like, which is, well, I have water, I have lemonade," and they kind of look at me like, "Are you driving? Are you okay?" And I'm like, and there was such a fantastic inner work for me, this whole judgment and standing my ground and being in my power and just owning it. It was just like, no, I actually don't drink and I'm okay. I'm not ill. I'm actually choosing not to, because actually I want to be conscious. I want to be here with you guys. And it was interesting journey. And I can see how difficult it could be for people not to stay authentic to themselves and not to do actually what really they desire, because there are lots of prices we get to pay when we standing up for ourselves in whatever way, even if it's entrepreneurship, right? Starting your business. What was the experience for you? Like being mom of three, starting your business. Have you got support of your environment, or was it quite you drowning yourself in it? I can do this. This is my vision. How was that for you?
Yeah, so it's been interesting, right? So like I have 3 kids. My youngest Mila is 18 months. And after her, it was like, before her, I should say, when I got my nutrition degree or certification, I had started plugging away at, my business, because Lincoln was like 2.5 at that time. So he was, getting easier to kind of be on his own and all that stuff. And I was more in routine. And then I had Mila. And I really feel like birthing your business is a lot like, having a child, right? So it's like, for me, it's like it starts off slow. You have to muster up the courage to want to show up. And it's like, what do you even do? How do you even start? Like, I remember 1.5 years ago being like, asking entrepreneurs that I knew, like, how do you even set up your day? How do you even know what's an important task or whatever? And, it's really just getting started. But I think about 1.5 years ago, like when COVID hit, it was really just affirmation for me. Like, you've been wanting to go online for a while, for whatever reason, like in your intuition, and this is the time to do so. And most time, right, when everyone is like scared of what's going on, I was like, yes. And it was hard. It's been hard, like with me and my husband, because I've spent a lot of money, and there have been times throughout this year where I'm crying because I'm like, fuck, like I have the kids, I have this, like I can't do this. I can't possibly do this, and it's really like another layer of personal development that you get to work through. And for me, it's like I really have had to get grounded in my vision and my why, because nobody that I know, like in my physical environment, obviously I know hundreds of people that I've become really close with online that are doing it, but most of the people in my like physical environment do not get it. They don't understand it, and it's like, that's where the inner work comes in. Like, you have to be so passionate about it you have to be so deeply rooted, and you also have to pay the price of people not understanding, or with your up level and growth, that your relationships with your family or friends, like, not that they won't be there, but that it's going to be different. So I've had to grieve the relationships as I knew them, and I've literally cried, and then keep going, because it can feel lonely, but it's like, is what you want worth like changing and letting go and shedding? Most people don't want to. It's too uncomfortable. They don't want to stand up for what they believe in. They don't want to tell their family, or they, like for me, showing up online was never about the people that I didn't know or the people that resonated with me. It was always about my family and friends that didn't get it, that I was too scared, because I wanted their approval. Unconsciously, I wanted their approval, and I still haven't got it from them. I still have family that call me and they're like, I saw your live. And I'm like, why didn't you say hi? Why didn't you like it? And they're like, oh, no, in the it's like a taker energy. I'm like, you don't have to believe what I do or whatever, but just let me know you're here, And so you have to get tough skin around that,
Yeah, this is so powerful, because it's been, yes, I mean, I don't have family or my own family children. So, I mean, literally, Brogan, like, hat off doing it with a family and 3 children. Because for me, oh my goodness, just as you say, like, it's actually now it's about 18 months since the first thought, first seed, because I had never, ever, ever imagined that I could be an entrepreneur. And because I was in my little box of the very limited possibilities of the story I made up about myself, what I am capable or not capable, and I was collecting the evidence everywhere, right? I'm not good enough. Here it is. What happened? No, I'm not important. And all of this, that we just do it. And then actually it started as COVID started as well. I was living in my little bubble lockdown. We had lovely balcony, which I was so grateful for, because I spent like 4 months there sunbathing at the balcony. Amazing. Teaching some English. I have few students, and just processing what was going on. And I remember at that time having the little thought. I was like, is this like working for yourself? Like, here I can have lunch, here I can do work, and I just remember it just like now, where I was like, maybe I think I would enjoy that. And at the time, I didn't know what I could do. I mean, I was certified to teach English as a foreign language or as an additional language. So I thought I want to go that path, like just that. And then eventually I started to take more courses just like you. And then the coaching space opened up, and I'm like, suddenly I was like, well, actually, back 10 years ago, I wanted to do masters in psychology. I didn't do that, and I chose to stay in England and learn English and travel and all that. And I'm like, wow, this is an opportunity to actually come back to the original intention. So it's been incredible. And just like you, I sometimes feel I'm this alien in the family, because I'm the only one who's doing it, or who's starting. And the biggest shift, or the biggest thing for me, has been, as you say, like the permission. Like, they don't need to agree, they don't need to understand, they don't need to believe in my dream, because it's only me who get to. And if I don't believe my dream, I mean, no one will, right? And it's just like you, just grounding myself so firmly in my vision is like, why do I even care? Why is this important? And just like, what is the bigger picture? What is it that I want to do in this world? And this whole conversation of self-value and self-worth, and I have gifts to offer, and there's Martina half year ago who I get to serve, So it's been incredible. So what would be the advice from your experience as mom starting business to those moms maybe who wants to start, and they are in this like, no one gets me and I don't know if I can do it? What would be your advice?
There's so much to say, but just start. I mean, honestly, it sounds so cliche, but if you don't do it, you're never going to know what you like it. You're never going to know, right? Because I was sitting on the sidelines for so long.
Yes.
And I remember, having Mila and watching someone that I admire, and I went to high school with her, and she was writing a book and all these things while like having a little baby. And I was just like, I could never do that, right? So really, like, look at your beliefs and the thoughts that you think that I can't do it, because you can do absolutely anything. And this is what I love to teach, is just like going from that depressed and numb state, that you can wake up every day excited without alcohol or like, anything like that, right? Like I remember I was thinking the other day about, what is it? They used to say a phrase, you're high on life. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but it was like so corny to me growing up. And I know as I unlock new understandings of the learnings that I've uncovered all the years, that these cliche things make so much sense when you look back, and it unlocks at a new layer. And not that I never will drink or whatever like that, but it's like, I don't need that to motivate me. Like, I really think life is amazing and powerful, and we are powerful. So for the mom that's watching, and that's questioning, just do it. Nobody's going to give you permission. When I was depressed, I wanted someone to save me. I'm not kidding. I was laying on the couch. I would cry. Delilah was so little, and I put so much of that on her when I was little, but I was waiting for somebody. I was waiting for my husband to give me permission. And I still find myself asking like here and there, and nobody's going to give you that. Like, nobody's going to fulfill it for you. So it's your job to, and it's hard, because you're exhausted. You've been up all night, or you've been yelling at the kids and you feel guilty because, it's been a long day with the kids, or whatever it is for you. You get to love yourself anyway, and then rise up, because it's on you. And that's where, like, take your power back. It's like, what does that even mean? But it's really just standing, knowing that you can do anything. You can do anything without, and create your happiness without being a victim or being resentful. Like, I am like, hello, I'm so resentful. Sometimes I get seriously, like, when I don't fill up my cup, I tend to be resentful that my husband gets 2 hours in the car alone with no kids, that he could just listen to 2 hours of podcast or 2 hours of music or whatever. But when I'm in my power, I get to create that. It's not the same. It's not going to look the same, but I get to create that. I can't blame him or get mad at him, because he is doing his part, in providing for us. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, that is so powerful. And yeah, and just with that, I mean, having the community, it does not need to be your family, it does not need to be your friends, but in the online space, I mean, plug into the groups. There are so many incredible people and women out there waiting for connection. So having people who are on the journey, who you can chit chat, I mean, that has really supported me as well. Doing different courses, staying in connection with entrepreneurs in whatever stage. There were people that are starting business together, there are people already in business, but being in this mentality, someone gets it, has been like transformational on its own. And sometimes in a way kind of made it a little bit easier, because you can just talk to, you don't feel, am I just dreaming this, is this even possible? And then suddenly you see, oh, they're doing it, she just launched her program maybe in the not very perfect way, but she did it, and I don't need to get it right, and I don't need to get it perfect, and I'm never gonna be ready. I'm just
Absolutely.
get to do it. That was my conversation. Like, when I'm not quite ready.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. That was my conversation with this. Like, I'm not quite ready. I'm gonna do this one more thing, and the one more course, the one more thing. And I'm like, you're never gonna really feel fully ready. Just take the leap and
never. Yeah. And I think about, like, if you just get grounded in the future self, right? Or think about something you've overcome in the past, right? Like, whatever it is, it helps you go forward. Because a year ago today, a year ago today, I was probably doing my first live ever on Facebook, shaking. And in this past year, I've done 4 virtual events. Like, I'm going live, and it's not about the thing. Like, the thing is always a byproduct. So whether you're, want to lose weight or whatever, it's like, who do you get to be every day? And for me, it's like, okay, I got to show up online. I got to share my message. I got to get uncomfortable, getting on camera and, not worrying about, sometimes something comes out of my mouth, I don't even know what the hell it is, So, but the coaching space and mentorship is just going to get you there faster. And as Martina was saying, you know, having that community, your environment is everything. So really having that environment and a safe space for you to know that you're on the right path is so critical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. For me, it was one of the like aha moments when I really started to pay attention to my community to really support me in starting in as an entrepreneur, was realizing that I am the result of the 5 people I spend the most time with. And I add to it, it's the stuff I consume. Am I watching news, which is all of the things that happens in the world, or am I doing something that truly nurtures me and nurtures my mind? But really looking at it, it's like, okay, who do I hang out with? Not like there are bad people, absolutely no. But this is my vision, how I can be supported. And that was like a really interesting realization, and that supported. Awesome. So, Brogan, so what is it that you do? If people or our listeners, our moms or women wants to stay in relationship with you, where they can find you, how's the best way to connect, what you can support them with?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram. I am Brogan Metcalf. You can find me on Facebook, Brogan Cabrera Metcalf, or I have a Facebook group, Hella Holistic and Fit Mamas. So I really help mamas with their mindset, time management, learning how to be fully confident, release weight, you know, feel stronger post baby. And, you know, I'm starting a new venture with entrepreneurs, but this is my thing. Like, this is what I'm really good at. So I'm turning my one-on-one program into a group program. I'm very excited about it. So just, you know, if you find me on social media, just DM me and just ask me and we'll talk. But it's going to be so exciting. We start October 11th.
Sounds amazing. Well, Brogan, thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your authenticity, your openness, because that makes us all relatable. And I'm sure that there are moms who gets to hear your breakthroughs, your experience, and feeling like it's not just me and I'm not alone and there is a way out. And I think conversations like that can truly transform one's life. So thank you so much for your heart, for your wisdom. And you guys, her, she's on this side for me. Go and follow her, go and learn from her because she's awesome. So thank you so much and have a
Thank
beautiful
you.
day.
Thank you.